America, we stand for freedom. Though freedom is never really free, we yearn and strive for government, protecting our liberty.
Good evening and welcome to Your Right to Know by the Fitchburg Republican City Committee. My name is Mary Lotze and I will be your host for this evening's show. And this is such an exciting night because of our guest, our special guest, Attorney Andrew Couture, attorney at law, but candidate for mayor of Fitchburg. Welcome, Andrew. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, and thank you for having me on.
Well, and for our audience, this is a very special night. Not only do we owe Andrew thanks and congratulations for his win in the preliminary, coming out second candidate that you will run for mayor, but it's also your birthday. So we have to wish you a very special happy birthday.
Thank you.
But because there's so much to get to, I really want to just press right on. 30 minutes goes by very quickly. So I have watched several interviews that you did on FATV, which I really thought, and I have to thank FATV, Michael Delamonaco, and Joanne Hughes. The interviews were exciting, they were interesting, they gave us a good sense of who our candidates were. And I think for anybody who took advantage of that, really allowed people to understand the differences between our candidates, some of the similarities, but how different people would approach different issues. Yeah. So what I want to do tonight, since a lot of people out there know you and know about you, I want to pick apart some of these things a little bit as a way of helping to differentiate you from now, your one competitor, as we go forward to the November 3rd mayoral election. So why don't we start with this? I know that you've had a different background. You grew up on a farm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
In Templeton. Could you tell us, and now you're an attorney, which is, quite a leap of experience.
Quite different, yeah.
Could you go into some of the things that you learned through this journey, this very different journey? Some of the things that helped form you, who you are, and why you would be a good mayor for the city of Fitchburg. What makes you different from your competitor?
Well, I know the value of hard work. I mean, as you said, I came from a farm. I worked my way up. I started putting myself through college. My family didn't have any money to put me through college. I started working at a paper mill in Otter River, Massachusetts. Well, it's a burg of Templeton.
Okay.
And it was a union paper mill. Learned the value of hard work, learned the value of money coming up through working into the ranks. I started off very simple, just as a college kid, stayed as a college kid, as I was putting myself through school. But I also rose up the ranks in the paper mill.
Oh, okay.
And at some point, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to law school. It's always been a dream of mine, and a lot of people said, "Oh, you'll never do that. You'll never do that."
You proved them wrong.
And that's exactly it. It was proving them wrong, and because I didn't come from money, it was a long shot. But you know what? Hard work put me through law school and got me to where I am today, and that's exactly what Fitchburg needs. Fitchburg needs somebody who's going to put their shoulder into the job and really lift this community up.
Well, can you see you've been walking the campaign trails now for months, and as you go from door to door, you realize some of the desperation that many of our residents, residents, live under. Do you understand maybe better their plight?
Oh, absolutely.
Because of where you've come from. We used to have paper mills in Fitchburg at one time. They're all gone. I mean, you understand some of this better, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I really understand the problems that people have within the city. We have really high taxes. We got a utility company that's just socking its residents. We have a water bill that is increasing. And trying to get all these paid for, meanwhile still putting food on the table for the kids is a challenge to everybody in the community.
And you are a young father?
I am a young father. I got 2 little girls, that they're the apple of my eye. And I understand what it takes to have to fight to try and make the budget balance, a home budget. It's difficult. And that's really what Fitchburg needs, is somebody who understands the problems of the average person in Fitchburg. A lot of people have these problems, and I understand it.
When you go around, and you actually mentioned some of the impediments to Fitchburg's growth, we have, for those of viewers, it's somewhere between 80 and 82% of our city's funding comes from the backs of the resident, the homeowner, which is a tremendous burden. So we need to bring in commerce and industry. You mentioned several things that tend to keep commerce and industry from coming to Fitchburg. The utility rates, highest utility rates in the area or the nation.
Yes.
High water, sewer, because of the water sewer separation mandates, high taxes. What are some of the things that you see that you can do to change and bring? Everybody wants to bring industry in. Everybody says we need more industry. That's one of the common denominators. What do you see that we can do to bring industry and commerce into this city again?
Well, being involved as an attorney and being involved in business law, as well as understanding, I've helped people start up their small businesses.
In your legal profession?
In my legal profession. I have worked with big industry. I've worked with small industry. And I first started my legal career working in a multinational corporation. And they stretched from London all the way out to San Francisco. They had some really, really big name clients. And I took care of the contracts. I took care of the contract. I started off just as a paralegal, and as I was going to law school, this wasn't separate from law school, I was actually working there while I was in law school.
Oh, all right.
As well as working in the paper mill. So it was very busy.
You were burning the candle at both ends.
I most definitely was burning the candle at both ends, and I learned that contracts are really important when it comes to business, and it's important when it comes to a city. A lot of times the city deals with contracts. You're talking about the water and sewer bills. Well, the city actually approved a contract where it was admitted that they didn't read the entire contract. It was actually stated that, we missed it in the fine print. Well, as an attorney, that's not going to happen under my watch. You read the fine print because that's where usually the important parts of a contract is. That's where the meat is. You got to pay attention to what's in the legal community as the 4 corners of the contract. It's the 4 corners of the paper. You read everything. You don't just gloss over and say, yeah, it's okay. That's that as with a legal mind. That's what I'm bringing to Fitchburg. Really taking a look at the problems of Fitchburg and finding the solutions. As an attorney, I have to think outside the box. You're presented with problems that you have to figure out a solution for, and sometimes you got to think out of the box for that. And that's exactly what Fitchburg needs.
Money continues to be a problem in Fitchburg. Again, everybody, I don't think anybody running, we recently had 4 candidates, and I respect all 4 of them. Nobody wants to run to bring a city down or to not do what's right in their vision for what a city is. But everyone promises, elect me mayor and I will do this, I will get you that. But it all hinges on money. Money is what is going to change or drive the train to change in many ways. Where do you think, or how do you think you can change that money factor to help Fitchburg? Because you realize that's limited.
Oh, absolutely. I completely understand that it's limited. And it's not only, where are we going to find the money to do this? It's how are we going to save the money? You know, we can save money within the city, becoming more efficient. You know, with alternative energy. I've been touting a lot of alternative energy. It's going to help the city. It's going to help the schools. It's going to be a great thing to bring into Fitchburg. Something that we really need to work on. Not just sit around and talk about. There's been too much talk. You know, it's now time for action. And that's what I bring. It's not, oh, let's hurry up and get this done. Let's get it done now, because we have to bring this in. Our city's finances are at the breaking point. And we also need to bring in businesses. The businesses coming in are going to expand the tax base. And that's going to make the problems of the city easier to deal with.
Well, and hopefully that will bring the tax rate down for the residents who
Absolutely.
are carrying this 80% tax burden on their backs.
Yes.
Running for office has been very difficult, I can only assume. Has it been difficult for you, or is it harder than you expected, anticipated, easier? What did you find on the campaign trail?
I knew it was going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. There was nothing when I first started this endeavor. There was nothing that said, "Oh, this is going to be a cakewalk." Okay. Has it been difficult? Absolutely, especially with maintaining a full-time job.
Yeah.
You know, I still maintain a full-time job in Boston. That's about a 2-hour commute.
It is.
When dealing
I did
with,
that for a number of years. It is.
When dealing with traffic,
Yes.
it might even be 3 hours. You know, so having to rush home, and also dealing with a young family
Sure.
at home. I've had to weigh I have to spend most of my time campaigning, and have to weigh the situation. You know, got to hurry up and get home. I got an appointment for the campaign at, say, 5 o'clock. Have to leave early at 3, in order to get home in time. So it's really been a balancing act.
Yeah. What about with your wife and children? Have they had to, I don't want to use the term suffer, because it's a sacrifice that they were, especially your wife, your children are young, but it was a sacrifice that your wife, Katrina, was well willing to give, to support you in this endeavor. But has it taken a toll on her and the children? She probably more than you, because you're out knocking on doors, she probably more than you senses what it's really bringing to the house.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Explain some of that for us. The wife, the wife's perspective.
Like me, my wife knows the value of hard work. She's a nurse, and she works hard. She has a full-time job as well, as well as maintaining the household while I'm out campaigning. So it has affected her. I'm not there to lend a hand, do some laundry,
Sure,
wash the dishes.
sure.
So she's had to do double duty, especially when it comes to the kids. Now the kids, they're wondering, where's Daddy? Where's Daddy? Especially the baby. She's 18 months old. Hannah, my 7-year-old, she can understand, Daddy's running for mayor. That's a big, important job. So yeah, Daddy has to spend time outside of the house. Is she happy with it? No, but she understands.
She seems to enjoy doing some of the things
She
that you
does.
do.
She
She
does.
enjoys going door to door with you.
Yep.
I've been
Yep.
at a couple of standouts with you.
Yep. She really
she's
loves
a little
that.
trooper.
She is, and one of the best things about running for mayor is I told her, I said, well, Daddy's going to run for mayor. She's like, oh, Daddy, that means we get to be in the parade. So that's what, one thing that she was really looking forward to.
perspective.
She was really happy that she got to participate in the parade this year, because the parade's always been big with my family. We've always been down there ever since she was a baby.
If I remember right, that's where you and I met a number of years ago, was at a parade.
Yep, and that was really important to her. She really wanted to be involved. She helped with the float. She helped put it together. She was really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And she had a great time doing it. And it's a learning experience for her too. She gets to see what campaigning is all about.
Sure.
In fact, she even said
a good education for her,
absolutely.
isn't it?
And at one point,
Living
she actually
education.
said, "Daddy, I'm going to run for mayor one day."
Well, good for her. We could use some more women in politics. At the local level, we frequently hear that the office of mayor, the position of mayor, is not a party position.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I'm not even sure, and I should know this because I am a poll worker and I worked at the polls on election day. I just didn't pay attention to this. I'm not sure if your party designation is even listed on the ballot.
It's not.
I just don't remember.
It's not. And really, you're really getting into the weeds there.
Mm-hmm.
Republican, Democrat, on a citywide level, I'm just interested in good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what side of the aisle it comes from. If you have a good idea, I want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, doesn't matter if you're a Republican. I want to hear your idea and see if we can run with that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about ideas.
Do you think at any level, because we also know at the same time that this area of Massachusetts is sort of turning a little red. Right now we're a little bit purple, but we are turning from solid blue, especially this north central Massachusetts area, to more red. Do you think, does that have any determination in your ability to get something done as in a position of mayor? That you're not the lone...
I think it'll be very important to have a good relationship with the conservatives in the surrounding cities and towns. You look at Leominster, you have Mazzarella, who's been in there forever.
Yes.
He is a conservative. You look at Mark Hawk, he's a conservative in Gardner, correct. And the surrounding cities and towns, they're all going red. And even the governor is now a Republican.
And of course, what are we looking at when we're talking about conservative? You and I know this, but just to clarify for our voters, that oftentimes what we're talking about when we're speaking conservative are people who keep their hand on the budget and look at the finances as if...
Correct. It's not a tax and spend type of a theory. It's, this is what we have the money to do, and this is what we're going to do.
And I think prioritizing.
Absolutely.
Projects.
Yeah.
You can't do everything, so what are our priorities?
Correct.
What would you do? You've been around from home to home, knocking on doors. People come to you and they say, this is what we've got to do to the city. You must hear some of the same things over and over. What are the things that people want to have happen or see happen in the city of Fitchburg that they appeal to you with passion about?
Number one, the roads.
Oh.
The roads are in deplorable conditions. And, it's a defeatist attitude to say, oh, well, we only have so much money in the budget. We can only do so many miles of road. That may be true, but it's still a defeatist attitude. What we have to do is we have to work smarter. We have to find ways to do what we need to do, but with less money. One of my projects is for a asphalt recycler. And basically what that does is it recycles the used asphalt. And right now we're giving our used asphalt to a different company. They're grinding it up and reselling it back to us. So we're losing out. We could do it ourselves for less money. And it would just be the investment of the vehicle. And it produces hot tar 365 days a year. It doesn't matter if it's 20 degrees below zero out, it still produces hot tar for $3.50 for the chemicals to put into it. And that's what would be a huge investment. So
these are the kind of cost savings that you're looking at that would be efficient for the city. Well, again, talking about money, campaign financing. And the Sentinel ran an article, I have it right here, on September 20th, and it talked about the different dollars that all four candidates were able to raise or to spend on their campaigns. It's quite a disparity, I should say, between you and your competition going into the mayoral election. Money shouldn't drive politics, but we understand that money oftentimes does drive politics.
It's unfortunate, but yeah.
And it's because somebody with money can get out and do a lot of fundraising. They can send these beautiful glossy things through the mail. Vote for me, vote for me. I mean, it does help. How can you, with such a difference in your fundraising coffers, make a difference and still get your name out there, still get your platform out there, your ideas out there?
Like I've been saying for this entire interview, it's working harder and smarter. You know, in this city, the city really needs somebody who understands, okay, well, we only got this much in the budget, so we have to plan accordingly. You know, it's easy if somebody has unlimited amount of funds and they can just say, you know, all right, we're going to send out these mailers, or we're going to be able to do this fundraiser. You know, that's an easy part. You know, if you have unlimited funds, you're not understanding what Fitchburg is, the problems that Fitchburg has, because you know Fitchburg has limited amount of funds, and you need somebody who understands that and can work with that. See, me, I've been able to do all this work with very, very limited amount of funds. You know, and it's working harder and smarter, and that's exactly what Fitchburg needs. We need to work harder and we need to work smarter.
Again, in the Sentinel, they ran an article a few weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, and they talked about the city council, and that the city council, quite a few of the members support your competition for mayor. So when you become mayor, how do you think it will be to work with the city council, where they, in many ways, gave funding and their verbal open support and appeal to a different candidate? Do you think that will be difficult for you?
I don't think it'll be difficult. As an attorney, I've had to work with difficult situations, and this is going to help the city out no matter what, but what we really need in City Hall is a mediator. Somebody who can say, all right, I see your side, I see your side, let's come together to see what we can do to improve the city. Instead of being at loggerheads and not just arguing, you know, let's come together and let's improve the city together. Even though we might think differently, even though you might have a different idea, you know, let's combine those ideas and really work together. And that, as an attorney, sometimes you have to do that.
I imagine everything you do as an attorney is compromise.
It is.
Working towards a compromise.
It's working.
Common ground.
Exactly.
Finding the common ground.
Exactly.
Right now in the presidential politics, which is really taking so much of the air out of the political arena because we have such, in some ways, flamboyant candidates.
Yeah, a few.
We have what seems to be a little bit of a switch. If you want to believe any of the polls, we have a little bit of a switch, a shift of values from what was at one time people voted for the presumptive candidate. Jeb, I'll just throw out a name, Jeb Bush, Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Because they were the kind of the presumptive of the party that they would get the position. Now all of a sudden the people are saying, no, stop. We want somebody who's outside politics because we are tired of insiders. We are tired of what we're seeing go on in Washington. And we're looking at Donald Trump, Carly Fiorina, Dr. Ben Carson, outsiders. What do you see yourself as an outsider? Do you think this concept will sort of leak over or blanch over to local politics on the mayoral level? There's people who feel this way.
Yeah, I think there already is.
Do you think there's like a sense of the presumptive candidate? Outsiders, we want outsiders. Could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has already started. People don't want the standard politician, okay? They're tired of it. As I said before, the loggerheads. You know, I'm not interested if you're a Democrat, a Republican. I'm interested in good ideas. Good ideas that's going to drive the city forward. You know, that's exactly what we need. We don't need the standard politician who is is well known. Everybody knows him. He's everybody. You know, they're everybody's friend. We need somebody who's going to work hard. Going to work hard for the city, and that's what I want to do. You know, it's a politician can raise money, they can, you know, cut a ribbon to an opening of a business, but that's something that is extra. You know, there's a lot that goes behind it. You know, you need management skills. As I said before, a leader isn't a position, it's an action. And we need somebody who's going to take action.
roll up their sleeves and get
Exactly.
right into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly.
And it
Dive
sounds
dive
like
into the problems.
Some of your background allows
That's
you to give you some of
exactly
the
right.
experience to do
That's
that.
exactly right.
I am going to give you 1 minute to speak to the camera, but before I do that, I sat next to a lady at the debate, and she very quickly she said to me, she says, I'm just so tired. I hear people talking about schools. I have no children. I hear people talking about roads. I don't drive because I can't afford a car. But yet she is a homeowner. What can you say to help those people who really don't have a lot? I think what they're looking for, if I'm not mistaken, is a safe community.
Yes, yeah. The safety in the community, property values. A lot of people are talking to me about property values, saying, you know, I owe more on my home than what it's worth. Well, why is that? You know, we have problems in Fitchburg that are lowering our property values. The crime rate in Fitchburg, you know, we have to work on that. We have to increase public safety. You know, businesses, jobs, opportunities, you know, that lowers the property values. You know, we have to start working, bringing in businesses, bringing in jobs, making Fitchburg marketable. You know, that is what we need. We need somebody who's going to get out there and say, come to Fitchburg. You know, we have great opportunities for businesses. You know, there's many things that we can do, you know, to bring incentive into coming into Fitchburg.
Well, we are just about out of time. So now I would like you to face that camera and tell the voters of Fitchburg why they should vote for you.
I bring the future to Fitchburg. I want to increase businesses, increase safety, you know, make Fitchburg a community for the future. You know, bring in alternative energy. Make it easier for people to, you know, enjoy their community, come into the city, enjoy the day in Fitchburg. A lot of people are not coming into the city in order to be able to enjoy the beauty that this city has. We have to make it business friendly. We have to make it a safe city, you know. And I represent the future. I want to bring the future to Fitchburg, and that's why you should vote for me.
And that election day is Tuesday,
3rd.
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
And let's just say your slogan, Couture is the future.
Couture is the future.
And would you give your website and how
Sure.
people can contact you?
You can contact me on coutureformayor.com, or you can also reach me on Facebook. You put in Couture for Mayor, and you'll see my Facebook page pop up, and just give me a like, and that way you can converse with me, you can send me messages. I usually respond very quickly.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight. And
Thank
again,
you, Mary.
congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you very
And you
much.
have to get over to the Unitil hearing.
Yes, I do. Yes,
so
I do.
I'm going to cut this short. And to our audience, we thank you for watching Your Right to Know and sitting in here tonight with the FRCC. As we leave you, we want you to remember that your local city or town Republican committee is your only grassroots organization that supports and holds dear your liberty and your constitutional rights and conservative values. We encourage you to join us. Why? Because for us, the GOP stands for growth, opportunity, and prosperity for all people, and because we always stand for freedom. Thank you and good night.
America, we stand for freedom. So let us all unite to yearn and strive for our republic that reflects our values, that preserves our rights, and goes forth in power and might, that reflects our values and preserves our rights, and goes forth in power and might.